Hello, everyone. My name is Ellen Eastwood. I'm Doug's younger sister. And on behalf of Doug, his family, his friends, and his colleagues, we thank you for this honor. I know it would have meant the world to Doug. Doug was a person who was very intentional with his life, and from a very young age, he decided to devote his professional career to public service. It started when he served with the Cameron Highlanders in our hometown of Ottawa. And then he went on to serve as a junior delegate for Jean Chrétien. And I can still remember the passion and intensity of his speech. Even at such a young age, he was a very talented speaker. When Doug graduated from law school, he decided to move on to the justice side of public service. He spent 27 years with the BC Ministry of Attorney General, and he tried so many cases, both high profile and low profile, but he gave them all the same kind of time, energy, attention, and dedication. When he went to trial, he would go absolutely dark. I'm not kidding you. We would go weeks without hearing from him, and that was unusual because Doug was the kind of person who reached out a lot. He'd emerged from those trials absolutely exhausted and spent, but much more often than not, victorious. I'm sure it doesn't surprise anyone in this room to hear about Doug's very impressive win rate. He could be a great guy to hang out with, but you would not want to go up against him in a court of law. Doug's actually sat on a few different boards throughout the course of his career, but the one we heard the most about by far was the JIBC. In particular, he was so impressed with the high level of simulation that the JIBC offered to his students, and he'd regale us with tales of the hostage negotiation training and the firefighting simulation and the first responder training. He undertook all of those simulations, or at least every single one that JIBC would let him undertake. And we have the pictures to prove it, some of which were just up here tonight. In fact, he was so impressed with the JIBC that, true story, one time he was on a plane beside a young man who told him that he may want to become a paramedic. And Doug instantly took him on a full tour of the JIBC campus in the hopes that he might apply. Doug had tremendous admiration for people who devote their professional career to public safety and justice. Absolutely, he enjoyed being part of the JIBC because it meant he could go to galas like this and put on a tuxedo and hobnob with well-dressed people because he loved that. But much more than that, he was very invested in being part of the future of this organization in terms of the strategic planning to ensure that this organization continued at the high excellent standard that it has. He also loved meeting the students and loved to congratulate them and shake their hand on their graduation day. At Doug's celebration of life service, one of the speakers called him worldly without being jaded. When you think about that, that is an extremely rare combination. Excuse me. Doug devoted his professional career to public service simply because he believed that every citizen should do whatever they could to make the world as good a place, the place that they wanted to live in. And in doing so, he made a tremendous impact on this province and on his country. And he made an impact on the people around him, including myself, inspiring us to want to try to help make the world a little bit better. It's an honor to accept this award on Doug's behalf tonight. My only wish is that he were here, resplendent in a new tuxedo and making us all laugh with his wisecracks, to accept it for himself. Thank you very much.